activism on campus and in the community. And for me, that was like a really enriching part of the educational experience for me.
Great, thank you. So, is there anyone in the audience that would like to ask a question or make a comment? Althea Barrett, would you like to go ahead and unmute yourself, Althea?
Sure.
Great, go ahead.
To Jennifer, you mentioned at the beginning wanting to promote your work in sociology through art and social media. I seem to recall. Can you elaborate?
Sure. Thanks for your question, Althea. Let's see, how do I explain? So like I was saying that it's really important to me to use academic research through public platforms so that we can just talk with folks who are not academics to help, explain these big social problems. And so the artist that I'm working for, he's based in Houston, Texas, but he started a project in Chicago, where I'm located, called Black Wall Street Journey. And it's all about exploring the legacy of Black Wall Street, and how that legacy is being being lived on in Chicago. Chicago, especially the Bronzeville neighborhood, is almost like a Harlem of Chicago. Like it was considered historically was a Black metropolis. And so he really saw this connection between Chicago and Tulsa. And he saw that when he was creating this project, he really felt that it was important to have a research aspect to this project. And so, he was looking for a researcher, somebody who could try to explore like what is the status of the Black economy in Chicago. And those were just skill, like he had the questions, but he didn't necessarily know how to go about it. And so that was where I saw that I could fill in, that I felt that I had the skills to do so, and I had the experience, the knowledge to help him think through these questions. So he partnered with the Smart Museum of Art, which is at U Chicago. And because it's a U Chicago museum, they looked to U Chicago Ph.D. students. So that's where I was able to apply and get that opportunity. So that's how I am now using my research through almost like the art field. And I wasn't like I came to my program, I was like, I'm gonna find an artist to work with. It's just that there was a need, somebody had a need for research because they wanted to ask big questions and they didn't know how, and they saw that we could fill a void there. And so I'm also, I think, I don't know if I mentioned social media, but I am using social media to dispel, to like share this information. And then we'll soon be working for NPR this summer for one of their podcasts. So because I had that intention, I'm seeking out these opportunities to use research in these public ways. They have a need, they have these questions, they have a need for someone to do research. I can do that. So but some people won't apply for those opportunities. So yeah, it's all about the intention and just placing yourself.
Yeah, and let me just say that that's a really important direction that really, people throughout the academy are really looking for people to engage in public facing ways, producing their work in ways that connect with people. Yeah. William Dunphy, you have your hand raised. Do you want to go ahead and unmute yourself?
Yeah, I have a question for Conor. I would like to hear more about the nonprofit industrial complex.
Sure. So I guess like it kind of goes into the idea of talking about like why nonprofits pursue funding and like for what ends. I guess like I think there's kind of a lot of drive in the nonprofit world to be constantly seeking money, even though you're not like generating a profit. There's usually an incentive for a variety of reasons, like higher salaries for the people working there, maybe to like expand your programming, or maybe more nefarious reasons, I guess. Like there's always this drive to accumulate revenue and through as many like means as possible. I think that's been something that people have started to examine a lot lately, is like in what ways do nonprofits, especially nonprofits run by like white management, I guess, like use the stories and like co-opt the stories of people of color and marginalized groups to kind of like build their own brand and to build money basically through that process. So it's like sort of like finding the parallels between how nonprofits work and how like other more like traditional corporate enterprises function too.
Thank you for that question. We really, we're just basically have 1 more minute. I don't know if there's anything else that people want to add here. But okay, so I'm so thankful for all 3 of you for coming back and giving me a chance to see you all again, and for all of us to learn from your experiences and be inspired. As Jennifer said, all of you are really tackling some of, our society's big issues and big problems today, and that is just so inspiring. And I can't imagine that you haven't also inspired everyone who's come here today. So thank you all for taking the time and sharing so clearly and motivating us all to to connect and make a difference. So thank you all very much, and thanks everyone for attending. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you so much.
Conor. Bye,
Thank
Anlly.
you. Bye, guys.